tell you a quick story about my name, with my surname. So I moved from Nigeria when I was 10 years old, and my grandfather, my dad's dad, said to me, when you go to England, don't change your name. And so then when I became an actor, I wanted to abbreviate my name, but I just remembered this man saying to me, like the only thing I'm gonna ask of you is that when you get to England, don't change your name, don't ever change your name. Like, he didn't ask anything else. And so like, it's really important to me that, you know, I've got the name and I've got his name and, you know, I'm carrying on that legacy.
Okay, great. So welcome to Trinidad. And we heard you earlier talking about the films that you've worked on and the process that you went through from acting to directing, producing, writing, and all of that. How important to you, and even the documentary you worked on for BT, how important to you is music in the creative process? Like, walk through that process from... We just heard Dike went a very thorough presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
On music and the importance of music. And in your process as a director, how important is it for you to go through that process of the music, working with the music?
I think music's the most important element of... It's basically, I was in Portugal at Afro Nation, which is a music festival, last week. And one of the nights I was with Popcorn, it's like, we're all good friends. I did my film, The Intent 2, is in the film, and like, we've become good friends from then. So I'm with him, and we're watching someone perform. I'm not gonna say who, and I'm critiquing the performance. He's like, Femi, what's wrong with you? You're just a critic. I said, bro, like, deep down inside me, I'm like a music person. I just make films. Like, I'm actually, like, I love music probably more than I love film. I just happen to like express like creatively better through film. And so for me, like, music's the lifeblood of what I do, and it's like a really important facet in the visual medium. And like, I was watching one of my friends' films on the way here on the plane, and then I called and I was like, the music's awful. It makes the actual story is good, but the music feels, it's like ghastly. I remember I've never used that word before. I was like, the music is ghastly. This is and because the music has to work, the music has to evoke an emotion, and the music has to, one of my favorite bits of like, you know, making scripted, like, you know, I mean, the documentary, you're gonna have to feature music if you're making a documentary about Black British music. Well, part of that, but in terms of like making scripted and making a film or whatever, like, I think it's really important because music helps to create an emotion, and it helps it sometimes really enhance a scene. Yeah. Like a really flat scene, if you put the right music to it, it really lifts it up.
All right, so we learned some of that earlier, but we also learned that at times, directors think of music last. Would you say that's true?
Oh, man.
In my experience.
Would I say directors think of music last? I think I was having another I'll refer to another conversation I was having. The director directs every element of the filmmaking process. Mm-hmm. Like, it was the conversation we were having yesterday, right? And sometimes the first question you asked me was like, how do you know? What was the question?
I think, have you ever worked with a composer?
No, you said something about how do you know how do you describe, how do you communicate what's happening?
Yeah, how do you communicate with the composer effectively?
Because sometimes actually directors don't know how to communicate with the composer. I know what I don't. I know what I don't like, right? But I don't know what I like. So I can tell you, you could play me something, I'm like, it sounds ghastly. Ooh, right? I could like, you know, you could play me something, I'm like, this is perfect. But I don't actually know why it's perfect.
Right.
Right? So in a way, I don't use composers unless I trust them. But I do agree, sometimes it might seem like we think of music last, but it's actually... because we don't necessarily know what we want, but we know what we don't want.
So do you think, Dike, it's helpful for composers, musicians to be on the set when going in production?
I think it could help.
Should that be a crew position that, you know, we put online?
I think the current film I'm working on, Black Sky, I have visited a couple of scenes because I have a small role in the film. But going on set, it actually is advantageous in my opinion because you see you get a better understanding and the background of what's really going on. You get a better sense of what it is when you're there, and you might get different ideas based on the environment that you're in. That's different than when you're just looking at it on a screen.
Right.
I don't agree because it's expensive. Like what? Like why would I pay you to come on set to come and inspect the set when I could just? Because actually, there's 3 films, right? There's the film that you shoot. There's the film there's the film that you write, the film you shoot, the film you edit, right? And the film that I've edited should be enough for you to. I get what you mean about being on set, but the film that I've edited is never the film that I shot. So actually, being there on set sometimes doesn't really. It's not really. I get get your
trust
opinion.
me,
It's like you want to get the feel, you want to be there, you want to feel like But ultimately, you're actually better off working with what I've given you on screen because that's a lot of the time better than all the millions of takes on set. Do you know what I mean? And so in a weird sort of way, I feel like you're better off coming in from the first edit. Or the first assembly edit, or even getting rushes to work from. So we just give you some rushes, but not necessarily being on set.
So the reason why I said being on set is advantageous. Well, in this instance, because the scene is being shot in the country, so it's just like a 45-minute drive away, so it's not expensive to get there. But in my experience, well, in this particular one experience, it has helped me because you get to talk. I don't know, it's the experience on the set, the conversations that you have, and it may not necessarily influence the exact notes that you write, but it might give you a different or better understanding of maybe what the film is about, or somebody's character development, or somebody's narrative, or a story arc of a character that you may not necessarily understand before. So I understand his point, but and from my perspective, it isn't necessary, but it does help.
And of course, this will mean that the director already knows who he wants to work with from the jump, if that even works.
I think that's important. I think it's you. So I was saying again to you yesterday, like I'm making a film at the moment called Trapping, and it's about like sort of like street life and drug dealing, blah blah blah, and all these kids doing all that. But the kids listen to drill music. So I went to a drill music producer, not a composer, that has never composed before, and I said I want him to do it. And the director was like, why do you want him to do it? He doesn't even know what a composition is. I'm like, I don't care, because that's the feel. I want that feel for the film because that's the feel that will carry it through to the audience. So in a way, it's very important that you know who you're going to work with. And in a way, I like working with. That's why it's important that if you're a composer, if you're a producer of music, you get yourself out there, because I don't know when I'm going to work with you. I just remember like, oh, you're the guy that makes that type of thing that I need for now. Even actors, when actors approach me sometimes, I'm like, yeah, just send me your information. And I randomly will sit there. Like the other day, I casted this girl from just remembering what her face looked like. Someone was like, we need someone to play someone that looks like Madonna. I'm like, oh, I know this person. So I contact this person, puts me into... Like, it's important to get yourself out there early and to share your work early, because I might not need you for my next project, I might not need you for my current project, but it might be a specific project that you're the only person that can deliver what I need. So it's important to build those relationships early.
Right, but should composers have a niche, or should they expand their horizons just in case someone needs... So your niche is pan, but suppose, there's something else, or he talked about drill music. So
film composers need to be able to be malleable. We need to be able to do everything. Basically, in 2023, we need to be able to do everything, because directors they're like, okay, I need this, and they don't really care what we do or how we do what we do. They just know, okay, at the end of everything, I need this music. However you get that, I don't really care. That's why I'm paying you. Right. Am I wrong?
I'm not. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Like, just make it painless for me.
Yeah.
Like, don't make me explain it to you a million times. I don't want to do 10 different versions. Just make it painless. Like, because at your point of the film, a lot of the time it's done.
Yeah.
Right? It's just, this is like the icing on the cake.
Yes.
And so I need it to be icing, not cake mix.
Yeah.
So what's from your experience, what's the best process for the composers in the room to get the attention of someone from you, or go like yourself, or go through the process of getting the attention of a director?
I think, have a reel that shows your work. I think the reel you showed me yesterday was really cool because you don't even necessarily, you can just get content footage from everywhere. Like, take your favorite Hollywood film and rescore it. Just have a reel, have a reference, and then distribute that as widely as possible.
Okay.
And just have different types of reels, like different types of moods in your reel as well, just to show, because actually what people don't talk about a lot is that music and film is about mood. So rappers will be like, oh my gosh, you're making that film. And they'll send me like a song and it's got like a million, like loads of words on it. I'm like, no, I can't use it. Or like I've got a sad scene and they'll send me a scene where they're describing a particularly really sad situation. Like, rappers are the worst at understanding music and film. Rappers don't know what music and film is because they will send you the song that says what you want. No, but I want a feeling. I want the feeling, right?
Yeah.
So actually show your
emotion.
range. Yeah. Because music and film is about emotion, a range of emotion as well.
Yeah.
So yeah.
What, from your point of view?
Sorry, what was the question?
So you have gotten the attention of directors, okay? And you've scored for. In your point of view, where composers in a room who are looking to score for directors, what's the process that they should go through to get attention?
That's a difficult question because mine was by accident. I did use social media. I'll be honest, I randomly messaged people. I did. I randomly was like, hey, my name is Dike, Samai, I'm a composer, I'm from Trinidad and Tobago, this is my thing, here's my reel, if you're interested, Sometimes they read it and just don't respond. Sometimes they respond, sometimes they don't even read it. But I think, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Reels. Once you have a social media, just get your content out there.
Okay.
Tag, hashtag film music, hashtag soundtrack, hashtag, the right kind of thing. And I think, and send it to people.
Okay.
Send it to people. Get your name, as you said, get your name out there. Nobody's going to hire you if they don't know who you are. And that is a message I'm sending for myself as well. No one's going to hire you if they don't know who you are. Okay. They can't hire Dike if they don't know Dike exists. So you have to make yourself, you have to push yourself, because nobody's going to be like, hey, I like your work, I'm going to push it for you for free. No, nobody's going to do that. You have to put yourself out there. And with the different types of social media that we have, it's much easier than 15, 20 years ago to get the direction of somebody who you want to talk to.
Yeah, because you're thinking, okay, I live on this small island, all the way in the Caribbean. No, how is Femi going to see my work? So that's a good idea.
I did a rescore for a film, a scene that Will Smith did. I can't really remember it right now. And I DM'd him on Twitter. He didn't respond. But I DM'd him like, hey, Will, my name is Dike Samai, and I sent him it. This is the link, and I sent it. He didn't respond, but you have to do those kind of things. You have to take the chance and put yourself out there, knowing that there's a high chance that no one is going to respond.
Right.
It's just a part of it.
And Femi, that's a good method.
I think just... Well, someone's... just scream. Just scream. Just scream and you get people's attention. But yeah, no, I think it's really important to just keep putting yourself out there, and the way you market yourself on social media, number one, is really important. As if you're a composer, then when I go on your IG, let me know you're a composer immediately, first 9 posts. If I don't see that, then what's the point of having Instagram, or what's the point of having whatever social media platform it is? And make it easy for people to be able to figure out who you are and what you do. And then also, I would say, just reach out to people on the my business partner is king of doing that. I find it a bit, I'm like, it's embarrassing. Like, why would you do that? But we wanted to get Louis Rankin in the Intent too. And I was like, but how are we going to get him? The guy just DM'd him. and then a few days later, we were on on FaceTime with him. I was so confused. I was like, how do you know him? He's like, I don't know him. I just DM'd him. And so you just never know. And some people you reach out to, they don't get back to you. Sometimes I go in my DM, right? My other DM, because there's the other
requests on the other.
I'm going out, and I'm just like, I look at the messages, I'm like, I can't be bothered with this right now, and I don't. But other times, people message me and I actually get back. And so it's like, you just never know. So like, just keep trying, keep pushing, and also always consistently market yourself as what you want to be perceived as. Perception is so important.
Yep.
Like, you know, if you want to be perceived as a composer, then market yourself as such. Like, don't confuse the message. Messaging, there's so much information that we're exposed to in the world at the moment that we need to make things simple for people.
Yep, I agree.
All right, so I just wanted to talk a little bit about, I know we have a music program here in Trinidad and Tobago at APA, you know, and so I wanted to, just for students or people who are just graduated and they're looking to move into the industry of creating music and creating music for film. And what would you say to them about the difference between mixing music for television and film versus mixing music just to play, you know, on the radio, to be heard on the radio at a fete or a party or something like that?
Mixing music for film versus mixing music for radio. Well, the end goal is different. With film, you are not composing for yourself. You are composing for somebody else. So whatever you write is highly dictated by somebody else. If you are going to do radio music, well, and that's you. That's what you want to put out there. So it's totally different. If you want to get, the question is what, if you want to get into it?
Like, so you're going into it and you want to know what's the difference and what you need to focus on to be successful, to be a composer for a film versus just being a mixing music for radio or listenership.
One more time?
I think I can answer it. I suppose like when you're mixing for film, is to enhance the experience of the viewer, right? And so it needs to work with the scene, rather than like, you know, you're mixing for this, like, in a way when you make music, you want to enhance the sound, the sonic experience of what the music is, right? So like you want the bass to be bassy, do you know what I mean? Or you want the percussion to sound a certain way. Whereas actually, if I'm trying to get, the difference is emotion.
Okay.
The emotion I'm trying to convey in the scene. What emotion am I trying to use this music to enhance within this scene? Whereas like music for the sake of music's sake is to enhance the music to the best that it could possibly be.
Right.
Knowing that music for the film is not what you necessarily want to express, but what somebody else wants to hear.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So in terms of the technical side of things, what is the difference in terms of it's for a film? It's not, there's no difference, or it's the same process you're going through?
The end goal is different because mixing for, if you want to do radio music, that's a totally different approach than doing film because the end goal is totally different. What are you doing it for? Radio is to expose yourself, try to build your brand, etc. But when you're writing for film, yes, you're still building yourself, but it's a partnership more, and you are the lower end of the partnership because the director's above you. So it's two totally different things, also, in my opinion.
I use different people. So like my composer doesn't do my mix for my film. So
composers, please don't mix your music.
No. So I've got
please don't do that.
No, so I've got a sound designer that designs the sound and that finishes the sound of my films. And then, but at the moment I've got a soundtrack that I'm making for one of my films, and I'm working with Popcorn again and another UK rapper, and they've got a song together. And I've sent it to both of them in an iMessage, this is the mix, and they're moaning about that one ad-lib there that they want to be lower. And like literally, it's so specific that I couldn't hear it. And I've now, what the UK rapper has gone, no, I don't like the way Poppy's ad-lib sounds in that little bit. And so he's now taking it from my guy that's mixing it, which is not a film guy. This guy mixes music. He's taking it from him and sending it to his mastering and mixing guy because he doesn't like that one ad-lib.
Right.
And so it's a different process. Whereas in a film, like, I don't care about that one ad-lib. What are you talking about?
Well, I just want to get some final words from both of you. So we're here, we're talking about music and film, and this is a great opportunity. The room is filled, and we have people online learning about the next steps. We're going to the next level here in Trinidad and Tobago. What's your final words for people who are in this industry? You can see the passion is in the room.
You want to go first?
Oh, me? I think I really did, like, you know, I want to say, like, this week, like, some of the music that I've heard, some of the people that I've spoken to, I think people need to believe in their source a little bit more. It's like, I'm Nigerian or mad bossy, like, we're just like, we think we're the best at everything. Like, and this is why even in America, African Americans don't necessarily like Nigerians, because they're like, Nigerians will go to America and be like, you know, I'm better than everyone. Like, what do you mean? I'm just the best. And sometimes that's delusion. Sometimes they're actually really good, but it doesn't really matter. And I just feel like there's so much talent that I just feel everyone, this like, oh, well, small island, who cares? You're a small island that's part of a big world.
Right.
And you're an important cog of that world.
Yeah.
And so like add that value to the world. Like feel confident that, you know, the talent is not any lesser just because you're from an island of 1.4 million people. Someone said 1.1 the other day and they got towed.
I think I would say, especially for the composers, that it's okay to believe that you are not the best at times, because it happens to all of us. We all, well, at least I suffer from imposter syndrome a lot. So that's why I said, you know, the last scene with the penguins, I didn't really like it, you know, but some people liked it. So I think in that particular angle, if you believe, you need to believe in yourself, you need to get yourself out there. If nobody... Believe in yourself, get yourself out there, you are talented, you could do it. If you need assistance, contact me, I can help you. Good.
Thank you. Thank you so much.